Hey y'all, it's Mrs. Gruen again. I am here to talk to you today about what your short answer response or what your writing task will be this week, and also how I'm going to grade it. So here is what we have. What we call a rubric. A rubric is a way that your teachers can grade your writing. So that way, one, you understand what you did or did not do wrong, and two, it lets you know before we start grading the assignment, as you are working on it, it lets you know what we're looking for and what you can earn or lose points for. So that way you're not wondering how you got the grade you got. It should be clear from the beginning what you have to do to get the grades you want. So right up here at the top it says rubric for 8th academic ELA, and then it has our prompt. A prompt is a fancy way of saying your writing task or the writing question. So this is the question you're trying to answer in your writing this week. What is one of the protagonist's main character traits? Write a complete paragraph that answers the question and provides text evidence to prove your point. So if I think about my prompt, it's asking me to do two things. First, I need to identify, or it's asking me to really do three things. I need to identify the protagonist. Then I need to identify their main trait. And finally, I need to find text evidence that proves their trait. So those are the three things I have to remember to do today. And so when I'm doing my writing, I make sure I have all three of these things in the paragraph. Now, once I'm done writing my paragraph, I might wonder, well, how good is my writing? What grade would this paragraph get? And that's when it comes to the rubric. Okay, now if you notice, we have over here on the left column, we have our descriptors. So here, this descriptor says answer. So everything in this row is going to explain how we score your answer. Underneath that is going to explain how we're going to score your sentence with evidence. At the top, we have different labels: exemplary, proficient, emerging, novice, and not applicable. Exemplary, think of this as perfection. You can't do any better. I mean, honestly, at this point, why are you even in 8th grade anymore? Go to high school already. Proficient is what we call on level. So in other words, you are doing exactly what we expect an 8th grader at your level to do. So exactly what an 8th grader should be able to do at the beginning of the year. Emerging means you're close to on level, but you're still making a few mistakes that hold you back. And novice shows us that you need more. You need to practice more because you're not quite getting it yet. If you get not applicable, usually the only reason you would get this score is if you forget to do something. And if we give you a not applicable, you're going to have to redo the assignment. So you want to avoid that altogether. Now here's how it breaks down. If you get exemplary for both the answer and the evidence, that means you're going to get 20 out of 20 points, which is a 100%. If you get proficient for your answer and your evidence, that's going to be an 87%. Emerging for both answer and evidence would be 75. And if you only get a novice for your answer and your evidence to where you really need to practice because you're not really understanding it, that's going to be a 60%. So as long as you are doing really well on some of these things, you should pass this paper. You should pass this assignment. If you are asking questions and getting help, you should at the very least get a 75%, hopefully. Now let's say you got an 87 or an 8.7 on the answer and a 10 on the evidence. Well, that's an 18.7 out of 20, so you're looking at already an A still. So it's going to all come down to how the math breaks out. But when I look at a rubric, the first spot I look at is proficient, okay? We always start here, and let's start with our answer. So if I want to be on level for my answer needs to clearly state who the protagonist is, so I must do that. And then it needs to state one of the protagonist's main character traits. Okay, so those are the two things I have to do to get proficient for my answer. But what if I want to get exemplary? What makes it different? So when I get to exemplary, I'm going to highlight the things that make exemplary higher than proficient. So again, the answer clearly states who the protagonist is. Then the answer clearly states one of the protagonist's main character traits. Ooh, here, it doesn't just state, it clearly states So I can highlight that because that's a difference from the level below. And then this whole bullet point is new. So it uses more advanced vocabulary to describe the trait, avoiding simple words like mad, bad, sad, happy, and so on. In other words, I have to make sure I'm using my 8th grade level vocabulary. And I think I can do that. Okay, so I know that if I want to get exemplary, I have to say who the protagonist is, I have to clearly state what their trait is, and I have to make sure I'm using my advanced vocabulary. I can't use my 3-letter, 4-letter words that I learned how to spell maybe back in like 1st grade kindergarten. But how could I lose points? If I'm going down to how I can lose points, so let's see what's different between proficient and emerging. So in emerging, I either don't state who the protagonist is, which is no good, or I write about a character who is not the protagonist. So that means I really have to make sure I'm writing about the protagonist, because if I write about any other character, I'm automatically knocked down here, and I don't want that. And then 2, the answer attempts to state a character trait, but the student's choice shows more of character feeling. Student shows more of a character's feelings or emotions rather than part of their personality. So in other words, I messed up. I said an emotion, I didn't say a character trait. So that's another way I can get knocked down to emerging. So that would take me from a potential of an 87 to a potential of a 75, and I definitely don't want that. Novice, the answer attempts to state a character trait, but the trait used does not match the character or they don't state what character they're writing about. So in other words, I really messed up. I clearly didn't understand the assignment. Okay, so again, when I'm looking at all of this, I am looking to see what I have to get to be on level, and then what bumps me up to perfection, and what might bump me down to where I still need to do some work. Okay, so that's how you read a rubric and understand a rubric. When we are looking at our evidence, it includes a piece of text evidence that shows the character trait. Very good. The text evidence is embedded in a sentence using a sentence stem. Okay, I need to make sure I do that. When I go up to exemplary, a strong piece of text evidence. So that means I can't just use any old one. It has to be the best one. It's embedded in a sentence using a sentence stem. And it explains why their evidence proves their answer correct, and that gives me a sentence stem. So I might have to go kind of above and beyond what maybe I was even taught in class to show that I'm above and beyond what an 8th grader should do. If I'm thinking about how I can lose points for my text evidence, I attempt to include text evidence, but it's not embedded or properly cited, so I made a mistake there. And then novice paraphrases the text, or the evidence doesn't show the character trait. In other words, whatever I did doesn't actually work for the assignment. Okay, so hopefully this helps you understand how to read the rubric for the assignment this week. If you have any questions, make sure you ask your teacher in class, because if you understand your rubric, you should know exactly what you have to do to get a grade that makes you happy.